All right, guys. All right. Are we live? I think we are. Let me just check that the filters are off on that. Oh, they are. Good. Right, so this is going to be about getting you, about getting your microphone set up correctly. Now, I am recording this in OBS, so the only thing that I've actually done is add in my microphone signal. Probably, if you are using Streamlabs, you maybe want to consider coming and getting OBS Studio, because it's practically the same thing, but the UI is a lot cleaner, and it doesn't use as much resources. Right, okay. So what makes a good voice microphone setup? Well, luckily, I prepared a LibreOffice Word document with just the right information to help us out here. Right, there's 4 parts basically, as here. We've got equipment, and then how you set up that equipment, then how you set up the system, and then the processing that you put. And basically, it's the processing part that we're going to focus on mostly. For reference, I've got an AT2020 microphone, which has a pop filter on it, and an SSL2 solid-state logistic audio device, which I can definitely recommend one of these. This is one of those where, unlike the mixers that you've got that plug into the back of your PC, like in an audio socket, these ones connect over USB, so you get a lot more data and a lot less noise. Maybe as a small streamer, you won't be too bothered by that, or you could get something simple like, I don't know, an Alto ZMX. I can recommend those as a bottom of the line thing, but there's going to be noise off them if they're plugging into the back of your PC. The AT2020 microphone is also fantastic, really good. And a pop filter is needed. We'll come back to a way that you can digitally pop filter, but let me just explain this by taking off, if you'll bear with me, my pop filter from my thingy. And then let's go back into here so I can see the result. Right, check out this little volume meter here. Why am I pointing at the wrong one? I should be pointing at this one. Right, so at the moment when I'm talking, it's more or less just normal, and I'm exercising a small degree of breath control. But if I start doing that old rhyme, what is it? Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pepper. Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pepper. But the point is, you might be able to hear the difference in sound. I'm not listening to the sound I'm doing, but there'll probably be pops and noises where it goes up to the full volume. Basically, certain sounds you make with your mouth produce like wind, which then hits the microphone and causes some problems. So I definitely recommend an audio pop filter. The one that I have is one where it just straps to the microphone, and it's like a shield that goes around about 180 degrees. Oh yeah, let's listen to the difference now. Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pepper. You see there, the volume wasn't reaching as high into the yellow zone. It's cut out a lot of that. Anyway, back to his list. Right, so that's the stuff. The setup. If possible, change your room to be a small room. I am recording this in, if I move away, you'll start to hear it, in a very large room that's like about 4 meters by 4 meters. It's an old Victorian room with high ceilings. So you can probably hear a lot of background noise right now, which is a problem. But that can be solved or mitigated without even any effects by, wherever possible, moving it so that the microphone is closer to your mouth. And this is good for 2 reasons. One is, as you can probably hear, me moving forward closer to my microphone right then meant that my voice got louder and the echoes weren't as bad. Secondly, when you are using your microphone, you don't want to have to shout to be heard. You can adjust volumes and sliders, but where possible, just try and get closer to your microphone, especially if it's a good quality microphone. So we've already talked about pop filter. Posture is important too. A lot of gaming chairs are these ones where the back isn't straight up. It sort of reclines a little bit. So you sort of sat back, laid back a little bit. They are both not really very good for your back long term. Your back should be straight and have an S-curve about it. And also, it's not always so good for your vocal quality if you just sat back. in my opinion. It depends. And be aware of your back, because if you're going to be sat in your computer chair for a long time, get a chair that's going to give you some good posture and maintain your S-curve, not start to destroy it like a regular gaming chair. System setup. Okay, so there's a thing here. As I've already said, I'm using OBS Studio. Not Streamlabs OBS, not SLOBS. They're basically the same thing, but OBS Studio is a little bit cleaner on the interface. Or do you want to use Voice Meter Banana? Well, that's on you. Feel free to experiment. The main difference is Voice Meter, I believe, you can do the effects, which we'll be doing in step 4, on your microphone and then feed that into applications and games so that they get the processed signal, which is good in theory. But I've also heard that it crashes a lot and sometimes it stops doing the microphone stuff. Although that might depend on the people's setup that we're saying those things, and it might not be that the program itself does that. Right, and then there's the processing section, which is what we're going to get into next. Oh yeah, and one last thing before we do go any further. A mega super helpful tip. Right, so inside OBS, do something like what I'm doing now, which is record a video of yourself speaking from what you think is going to be your normal gaming position, even if that's laid back a little bit, and just literally pick up a book and read it, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to read a book. I'm not going to read it and record it, because you'll be able to hear it. Oh, balls, I've gone to the wrong place. Where is it? I'll be reading one of my favorite ever stories in the thing, but I'll surprise you with that in the next video, because I'm literally going to record that now with this audio setup exactly how it is. And my default position for where I'm speaking is going to be about here. I've got my mouth literally about an inch or two, same difference, from the microphone. I'm literally about an inch from the pop filter. And one last thing to say before we get on, the closer you are to the microphone, the more of all of your tones it picks up. Like, for instance, at the minute you can hear all of my tones, like the bassy parts, the middle parts, and the high parts, those little hissing sounds that give the words that I'm saying some kind of definition and clarity rather than... The further away from the microphone that you move, the low-end sounds and the top of the high-end sounds, which you might not be able to hear, start to drop off and become less powerful. So the further away from my microphone I move, not only does the sound get quieter, but also you'll probably hear that the bass sounds have gone a bit. Anyway, that's that. So next video I'm going to have recorded a sample of stuff, and this is going to be incredibly important because you can listen to your own voice live if you want to. You can go into advanced audio properties on your microphone signal and click audio monitoring on like that. But that's making it very hard to understand. But basically, like, you'll hear your own voice saying what you're saying in real time, or near real time, and that's it makes it incredibly hard to focus. Right, so next video I'm gonna have a movie set up where we're gonna do it.